Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. John Owen talks about sports and movies, featuring my new logo. Shout out to my roommate Libby; she's the best. But with that being said, I always appreciate the support. Let's get into it. Happy May the 4th be with you day, aka Star Wars Day, probably one of the best days of the entire year. And with that being said, it was only right to post a Star Wars video. So today's video is going to be another reimagining series, which did well the last time I did one of those, so I'm excited about that. But this one is going to be about the sequel trilogy. Now, I'm not one of those people that just hates the sequels and thinks they're the worst movies ever and thinks they're not canon or anything like that. I like them. They're okay. They're decent enough. It's my least trilogy out of the three. But I still think they're okay and they're fine entries and they're good like that. However, I believe that if done differently, they could be even better. So I just think they're meh overall, and in our reimagining, we're gonna get rid of a lot of stuff. We're gonna get rid of um Holdo maneuver, Luke in the green milk, the whole casino side mission, no Ray and Finn kiss, no Bendemption, no Star Killer base, nothing like that. We're gonna keep as much as the original sequel trilogy there is, while just reincorporating it, kind of wrapped up in a new story. So today is gonna be the sequel trilogy reimagined part one. And the main focus of this trilogy is we're gonna have a new little character trinity. Each trilogy always has had a trinity. Um, and the sequels does try to set up Rey, Kylo, and Finn as a trinity, but unfortunately Finn kind of gets shafted after the original Force Awakens, so we're going to make that not the case. So we're going to start off with Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Yes, we're going to use the same title just because I think it works well. So the crawl of the movie is going to reveal that Leia is the Supreme Chancellor of the New Republic, Han is a high ranking general, and Luke has a new established Jedi Order on Octo 2. And Ray, or not Ray, excuse me, and Leia and Han had a son that trained under Luke, but something happened and he's been gone for some time now. But now there's some dark, mysterious force gathering power in the outer rim of the galaxy. So the movie's going to start off very, very, very similar to the beginning of the original Force Awakens. So we're going to have the introduction to Kylo Ren and Finn and Poe. But here's where we're going to make a few differences. So Poe does not have the information to map to Luke Skywalker. The map leads to a ancient force related artifact, which we'll get to later. And Finn is more closely related to Kylo Ren. He is part of one of Kylo Ren's elite stormtrooper squadrons. And the scene pretty much plays out exactly how it does. They capture Finn, they burn down the village. Except Finn does a little more damage to kind of hone in kind of the horrors of this elite group. And sets up him leaving this version of the First Order, which won't be called the First Order, even better. And then we're going to cut the Rey. We're going to cut the basically copy and paste everything from the original Force Awakens to our introduction to Rey onto this movie. Next, this thing we're going to cut to next is Leia and Mon Mothma are on Coruscant, and then Luke and his top Jedi learner, Sabe Tilly, just shout out Star Wars generator name, are all discussing this horrendous threat, Kylo Ren's attack. Now, they don't know for sure that it's Ben Solo, but Luke and Leia kind of come to the mutual conclusion that it is, and their reaction is pretty profound. They're pretty upset about it, rightfully so. Next, we're going to cut to Finn rescuing Poe. It's going to be the exact same as it played out, except now this time when they land, they're both going to run into Rey. And so now it's Finn, Rey, and Poe all on Jakku. Kylo Ren goes down to Jakku himself to go um, apprehend Poe, and so um, the Knights of Ren and Kylo find him. They ask him who he is, and they say, "I'm Kylo Ren." The Knights of Ren are teasing Rey and Finn and Poe, talking about how they're insignificant in all of this, da 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 da, and they're about to jump him and attack him again when all of a sudden a large blast comes out of the sky, and it's actually the Millennium Falcon shooting at the Knights of Ren and Kylo. Kylo and the Knights of Ren get out of the way, and they end up leaving Rey and Finn and Poe alone. And when the Millennium Falcon lands next to our trio, also, side note, Poe has the information with him. He doesn't give it to BB-8, so he actually has the information on him still. Anyways, when the Millennium Falcon lands, who comes out? The one and only legendary Han Solo and Chewbacca. So the new trio gets on the ship with Han. Han kind of explains, who he is and all this. Rey knows who. They all three know who he is, but they can't believe that he's actually real. They thought he was a myth. All this good stuff, and then on the way there, or that group now travels to Coruscant, and on the way there, we see flashbacks of or Leia and Luke and Sabe rather, all kind of reminiscing on their time with Ben Solo. Leia replays a memory of Chewbacca and Baby Ben playing with each other. Luke remembers Ben's time at the Jedi Academy, and Sabe had reminisces on her feelings that she had for Ben while he was still there. But that's all interrupted when Han brings the new trio, and they all discuss kind of what had just happened and how they're best going to go after him, and how they're going to kind of neutralize his threat and what he's after. So they split up. So Poe is going to stay with Leia and Han, and Rey and Finn are going to go with Luke and Sage. Sabe. Oh my gosh, Sabe. Her name is Sabe. Sabe. So while we cut back, we see that Kylo Ren is reminiscing on his recent encounter. He is holding the Sith holocron in his hand, but he's kind of just holding it up with the Force, making it levitate. He's not actually trying to open it, and we see that he's in Vader's castle on Mustafar, and much like in The Force Awakens, we see Vader's helmet next to him, and he's reminiscing on the rage he felt when he saw Finn and how could he betray him and all this. But the main thing that he is thinking about is the strange connection he felt to the girl. He has no idea who this girl is, no idea on who she could be, but he feels this super strange connection to her. Just ignore that. And so he's reminiscing on that and all of that. And he tries to open the holocron, but he can't get it quite open, and it booms this message that basically says your connection to the dark side is not strong enough yet. So Kylo Ren kind of comes up with the idea on how to strengthen that connection. So next we see Luke and his little Jedi bunch travel to Maz Kanata's castle. Maz is a very knowledgeable person, just like she is in The Force Awakens, and they ask her about what Kylo Ren could possibly be after. Much like in the movie, while Luke is talking to Maz, she kind of reads Finn, Rey, and Sabe. Rey goes downstairs and she has the vision, just like she does in Force Awakens. Maz knows Finn is not exactly the best person, is a little suspicious of him, and she's also very suspicious of Sabe. And Finn does reveal that he is a First Order stormtrooper, or was a stormtrooper on Kylo Ren's squadron, but because it was so violent, he left. Which kind of shakes Rey's confidence because she thought Finn was just an undercover spy getting Poe out. But nevertheless, they don't have time to really deal with this right now. They have got to find what Kylo Ren is going for. So Maz tells them that the artifact that the map leads to is called a holocron, and they really need to get to it before Kylo Ren does. So we go back to Kylo Ren at Vader's castle, and he's assembled a group of bounty hunters, especially led. None of the bounty hunters listed there, but a group of new age bounty hunters, headlined by Captain Phasma, who we are repurposing as a bounty hunter, and he's giving them a task um, that will help him achieve his goal of strengthening his connection to the dark side. And then we cut to another meeting of between Leia and Han and Poe are how they're going to deal with Kylo. Side note, I forgot to mention this earlier. The reason that Han even knew to go get Poe is because Han is kind of training Poe up to take his spot as a general in the New Republic. So Luke senses that Rey and Finn are both Force sensitive, and they go through a little training montage, kind of similar to how Luke does with Kenobi on the Death Star in A New Hope. And Luke gives them or lets them borrow 2 blue lightsabers that they're going to use a little bit through the rest of this movie. And Luke knows that they're Force sensitive, and they both agree to go train with Luke at the Jedi Academy when this is all said and done. So this whole group reassembles on Coruscant, and they devise a plan. Leia and Han and Luke are going to go on an adventure to go find the holocron, while Rey and Finn and Sabe and Poe are going to go to the Jedi Academy on Octu and protect it just in case Kylo tries anything. So just like old times, Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, C-3PO, and R2 go on an adventure to go find the holocron. So they get to the abandoned Sith temple where the holocron is. They go through there. They've got to do some Force sensitive stuff. Luke and Leia do all the Force stuff. They get the holocron. They grab a Sith holocron and a Jedi holocron, and they get out of there. Meanwhile, while this is all happening, the Knights of Ren and the Bounty Hunters are engaged in a space fight with the defenders of the Jedi Temple. So Finn and Sabe and Poe are all skilled pilots. Rey is not quite that yet, so she hops in the gunner position of Finnship, and they're engaged in a huge dogfight. Our good guys and our heroes do pretty well, but the Knights of Ren all end up landing on the Jedi Temple, and they're about to go attack it. So Sabe sends out an emergency signal to Luke that he needs to get back to the Jedi Temple immediately. While this is all going on, while Luke and them are on their wild goose chase, and the Knights of Ren and are attacking Octu and all of that, Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma and a small group of stormtroopers are going to Coruscant, and they are setting a trap that will allow Kylo to strengthen his connection to the dark side. But Kylo stays hidden. He just lets Captain Phasma and the stormtroopers attack first. They go attack the Senate building, and so the Senate building sends out an emergency signal that someone needs to get back here to defend them from these stormtroopers and Captain Phasma, but they have no idea Kylo is there. So everyone scrambles. Poe stays and tries to fend off everyone else in space with Sabe. Sabe goes back down to the ground to try to defend the Jedi Temple. Luke goes on his way to the holocrons, and then Luke sends Rey and Finn back to Coruscant, where they can meet up with Han and Leia to help them defend the Senate building. So the Knights of Ren are about to attack the Jedi Temple when Luke and Sabe pull up on them. Luke's like, I think you boys have had enough fun. And Luke goes to absolute work on them. Him and Sabe make pretty easy work. It's pretty epic, and they're able to defend the Jedi Temple. So Han and Leia and Finn and Rey kind of make light work of the stormtroopers. And Captain Phasma actually flees beforehand, but to their surprise, there's Kylo Ren waiting for them. Rey and Finn rush to attack him, but Kylo Ren throws them off to the side. So now Han tries to reason with Ben. He's asking him to come home, to come back. If he comes back now, it's not too late. He hasn't done anything that's too irreversible. All that good stuff like that. Kylo drops the helmet just like he does in Force Awakens. Pretty much mirrors the same scene. Kylo stabs Han through the stomach and then throws his body off to the side. He tries to make an attempt at Leia, but Rey and Finn both rush him. They have a quick bout. It's not a completely one-sided butt whooping, but Kylo handedly takes care of Rey and Finn. Leia has time to escape, and Kylo knows that he has won the day. So the end of the movie follows Rey and Finn starting their Jedi training on Ahch-To with Luke after a small funeral for Han Solo. They're all sad, but they know that Kylo is only getting stronger and that they're going to have to be ready for him. And like I said, we end with the training sequence. And then the final shot of the movie is Kylo Ren back in his castle on Mustafar, looking down at the holocron. And as he makes an attempt to open it, it finally opens, and he just has a sinister grin, knowing that he has grown more powerful with the dark side. So thank you guys for watching today's video. I always appreciate the support. Make sure you guys check out the link content, and you guys have a great day.